Hello everyone, it's Ashwin Rao. In today's video, I'm bringing you a new makeup of the Nomad Heritage boot from Dievier. Dievier is rapidly gaining a strong and almost cult-like following amongst boot enthusiasts, partly because they have a very unique design, this effective mock toe stitch with this unique apron design, and then almost like a Balmoral style stitching pattern that harkens to some country boot styles and incredibly affordable prices. In fact, Dievier recently dropped the prices of their boots from closer to $200 to closer to $150 for their typical makeup, which is this makeup here. And this is a model that I actually became enamored with when seeing this online because of this leather here. This is their Redwood Roughout, which I believe is a veg tanned leather, about 2 millimeters thick, similar to their other leathers. And it has just a really rich, vibrant color that morphs a little bit into different versions of red. In this light, it almost looks like a yellow red or an orange color, but in other lights, it almost has this reddish brown rust color look to it. And my understanding is that this leather is sourced from a tannery in Mexico. I'm not sure if it's Lafarque or others. It's not listed from what I can tell on their website. But Dievier is really raising the game with this style because it turns out that this style is quite versatile. The things I love about this are not just the color, but it seems like Dievier is actually improving the stitch work and stitch density of their outsole stitching here. It's very, very cleanly done. This is a 360-degree Goodyear welt. You can see the welt joint right here, basically comes at the edge of the heel counter. It's the only joint on that boot. And the other thing that I thought was really cool, and I talked to Dievier about, was the inclusion of these black rawhide laces. And my understanding is that for the next week or 10 days after this video is out, these rawhide laces will be complimentarily included in your purchase. So I should get out of the way that I got these boots directly from Dievier. Dievier has been very gracious with sending me boots for review. Part of the reason I am particularly interested in reviewing Dievier is because, one, their designs are unique. Two, their boots are incredibly comfortable. Three, I get a lot of compliments and I really enjoy the style of these boots with various types of denim and the shape of the boots with this rounder toed last and this unique apron all very much appeal to my aesthetic and sensibilities. And also just the fact that many people on my channel are looking for essentially good deals either on the used or new market for welted footwear. And in my mind, along with Craft and Glory, Grant Stone, and a few others, Dievier probably represents the top level of value. Urban Wolf Club is another brand that is coming along, as well as Crush On Retro. Dievier, on the other hand, has this particular model as well as their Nomad, which is more of a single, simple, stitched and raised apron with a almond-toed last, which I don't have. This is, as you can see, a round symmetric last. Very roomy. Fits true to size or maybe a half size up depending on what type of socks you wear it with. This model, actually, I got with their injection molded outsole, which is the oil resistant outsole. This is what comes standard on their boots, kind of a black wedge-like material, and I have not worn this yet, so I'll have to give you feedback as I wear this as to how this sole holds up. As you can see, this red-brown roughout, their Redwood Roughout, has almost this waxed finish to it. Certain parts, including this side paneling, almost feel like they're lightly been waxed, whereas the upper part of the shaft here has more of this looser nap. The leather is incredibly soft. It has really nice temper. And as you can see, there's this really beautiful rolled edge here to the top, which I think is incredibly well done. And I really like the contrast stitching because it really brings out the pattern of this boot and doesn't allow it to hide. Makes it a point for commentary when you're wearing the shoes, and appreciate just the quality of the craftsmanship here. It's everything done quite cleanly. You can see that the stitching in 4 rows is done very cleanly, where it's done in 2 rows up here cleanly. Only place I see any sloppiness at all in the stitch work is at the edge of this piece of the facing right here. You can see a little bit of this double stitched up area here, which is not as clean as say it is on the other side, where you can see that double row lying down against the far edge of this part of the facing here. Other than that, hard to find any fault with the construction. You can see similarly very clean work done at that joint. And if I turn it around, even cleaner work done here. Stitching is all done, I believe, by machine, including the Goodyear welt. Again, very cleanly done along the upper edge of the welt stitch here. And then the apron is basically faultless, symmetric, not offset at all. And then this lovely red-brown Redwood Roughout color. So you might say, wow, how can somebody build a boot like this for 150 bucks and make it worth their money to sell? Because, you know, most boots at this level of quality are going to cost at least double. Part of it is probably the production in Mexico. There is cheaper labor there. The leather that is likely here, while a really nice and supple leather, does not have the same cost as leathers coming from tanneries out of Europe and the US. The edge dressing here is basically a raw, dressless edge, meaning that they didn't do any finishing there. It's just veg tan leather. But that will actually patina quite well and form its own shine over time. And I'm really excited about this. These are boots that are easy to get on, fit comfortably. The lacing system allows you to really cinch the laces down to adjust your fit depending on if you have a high, medium, or low instep. I would say this is a boot that's probably more suited for people with medium to high insteps. With a lower instep, you might need to do some adjustments in terms of fit. The pull tab also makes it very nice to do ingress and egress of your foot into these shoes. These shoes are almost all leather components. They have leather heel and toe stiffeners, I believe, as well as a leather insole with a cork filling, and really everything here, including the Dievier insole here, is all leather. Branding on the tongue. This is fully lined on the inside. Yet another perk, something you would not expect for a $150 boot. So very impressed with Dievier's offering here with their Nomad Heritage and their Redwood Roughout. Nomad Heritage, I do not think you're going to be disappointed by this offering, folks. Beautiful leather, should patina and age wonderfully, and all at $150 plus, I believe, some shipping to your door. And you're going to be happy with this one. I guarantee it. Hope you're having a good one. Take care and goodbye.